Welcome to HPC News Bytes, a weekly show about important news in the world of supercomputing, AI, and other advanced technologies.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to HPC News Bytes. I'm Doug Black with Shaheen Khan. Shaheen, our lead story this week is from Intel, which is holding its innovation event this week in Silicon Valley. They announced new low-end FPGAs, which include modules for AI and RISC-V. They also released Open FPGA Stack, an open source common framework for FPGA development that gives access to hardware and software codes and technical documentation.
The themes of AI and edge to cloud are going to stay strong in the IT market because they were mentioned in this press release. FPGAs are very useful for super deep pipeline apps like stream processing, but because the development process touches hardware and software, it's complex, time-consuming, and simplifying that process is a big need, and I'm glad the industry is making progress there. There was a report in The Economist magazine on the use and impact of AI in science. There's a chart in there by an organization called CSIRO, an Australian government agency responsible for scientific research. It measures the number of, quote, AI-related scholarly publications across physical, social, health, life sciences, and humanities. What was interesting to me is that the growth in physical sciences AI-related scholarly publications started in, wait for it, 1980. 1980, not so recent. That's an indication of how long it takes for these snowballs to form.
Yeah, the Economist article also includes examples of AI for science, such as researchers using an AI model to search millions of candidate compounds to fight superbug bacteria. The model was trained on thousands of known antibiotics, and it worked out links between the chemical structure and success at fighting bad bacteria. The AI spat out a short list. The scientists tested and identified the antibiotics that worked. This is a needle in the haystack process that was hugely accelerated. Also, we had ARM holding its much anticipated IPO this past week, and it went well. On Thursday, the stock opened at $56 and ended its first day on the market at $64. TSMC backed the IPO to the tune of $100 million, and ARM Holdings CEO Rene Haas said the company will engage in a significant strategic pivot.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving further downstream to do complete designs of purpose-built chips for their clients instead of just licensing the pieces or just making those pieces bigger, like they announced 2 weeks ago. Whether they call it a pivot or an expansion of business, it can monetize a very clear strength, so it's a good move. They generally did a very nice job with this IPO, besides all the institutional support and endorsements like the TSMC backing that you mentioned. The name of MediaTek also showed up on the IPO prospectus. MediaTek is not a name we hear often in HPC circles, but they are a ballpark $20 billion powerhouse in smartphone chipsets and edge semiconductors based in Taiwan. As edge HPC becomes more accepted, we might hear their name more often. Now, the AI and edge to data center theme continue with an announcement from AMD, which usually has an announcement when Intel has an event. This time, it's the availability of the AMD EPYC 8004 series CPU, bringing their Zen 4C core and a new SP6 socket that streamlines memory and I/O to achieve better balance of all the various requirements that they have. So it's targeting edge devices while being suitable for rack and stack in the data center.
Well, we've seen AMD evolve over the past 6 or 7 years, I want to say, into a high-functioning company that hits its marks. In data center chips, they're up to about 20% market share and growing. They're calling the new chips purpose-built for energy and space-constrained workloads, and they announced a ready-made ecosystem of OEMs incorporating them into their products, and that includes Dell, Ericsson, Lenovo, and Microsoft Azure. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for being with us.
HPC News Bytes is a production of Orion X in association with Inside HPC. Shaheen Khan and Doug Black host the show. Every episode is featured on InsideHPC.com and posted on OrionX.net. Thank you for listening.